Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Dual Destinies case number 2! Yeah, you're gonna hear this a lot because this case is taking a while. But anyway, Filch just ran off, ran the courthouse. Ran from the courthouse. So we are now without a witness. But I'll just say right now that we're probably gonna pull up Jinxie, I think it's coming up. So, let's continue. That's certainly not something you see every day. Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the Yokai Tenma was at the scene. And now we have two witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Really, Blackwell? You done? Oh. Oh. What? Huh? Oh! His shackles. Huh! I'm too young to die. Justice Dono, long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best say your prayers. Eek! Detective, do something! Ha ha ha! Have no fear, Fulbright is here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going!
Objection!
Then get going already, before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that set him free! Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice!
Silence!
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Oh! Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, you know... I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So, Justice Dono's assertion is this. Tenma Taro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right, and that yokai, or rather, whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Kyubi.
Silence!
Ah! Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the fox chamber? What? He's right. He said nothing about Tenma Taro she said nothing about Tenma Taro being in the fox chamber. Let me enlighten you. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is... Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewered murder victim, the Alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been someone dressed up as like Tim. Ah! Why does the little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the fox chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenma Taro inside the fox chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirsted for blood. At long last it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? I think it is. Show me what you're truly capable of, Justice Dodo. Very well then. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So, this court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Ah! 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? Sheesh, at least include enough time to wash our hands. See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir! I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I declare Prosecutor Blackquill the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? Nope. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenma impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act, anyway? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it is high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. No, wait! Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence. I suppose it could wait till later. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackquill said, Apollo. Don't be late. The court. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at Kyubi Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is. Nurahian, leader of the 100 Daemons. He really does exist. I don't even know what that was. Wow, that is one well-polished tray. The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. Eek! What is it, my child? Begone, Nurahian, leader of the 100 Demons! Ho ho ho! You think I'm a yokai? Well, I was known as the traditional monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. Eek! My charm has no effect! The demon of due process? Not sure if I can see that one. Now, you little scamp. Yes? I trust you know why you're here. The bags. Bags? Oh, that tricksy tanuki? Try the noodle stand and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azukirai... I used to know Japanese, now I can't do it anymore. Azukirai away. Azukirai, the yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off. Azukirai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackquill got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together, those two are just plain creepy. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene.
Did I see Tenma Taro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw... Yes! Now I remember! Yokai! Yokai! Right there in the room!
So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Lots and lots of them!
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them?
I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Seto Taisho. Seto Taisho?
Is it Seto Taisho?
Seto Taisho! They were all there!
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony. Yeah!
Hold it! Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea! Please proceed, Miss Sykes. You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She obviously is not herself.
She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I've forged in a distant land.
I'll show you. Did I see Tenma Taro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw... Yes! Now I remember! Yokai! Yokai! Right there in that room! Found something! Looks like an out-of-control emotion.
Athena? What exactly are we looking at here?
Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice.
Whoa! You mean that little thing could do all this?
Pretty cool, huh?
And here I thought it was just some kid's toy.
Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow of error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess.
So all those yokai she thinks she saw are product of rampant emotions?
Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And that trauma in Jinxie's case is fear.
So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai.
We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by tapping Probe on the bottom screen. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, tap Probe again to try and get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, let's give this a try.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on the Wheel of Fire?
That's... Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I believe it came to steal the aldermans.
It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation.
Exactly! It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha. Kapalo, you need to point out what she's thought was a yokai on the Wheel of Fire.
I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha?
Take that!
The light fixture?
This one right here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The Akasha you saw was just a light fixture.
Hey! That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest.
Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster?
That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray.
That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen.
Hey!
And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one.
Hey!
And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue.
Hey! I don't know what I was thinking.
Atta girl.
You did it, Apollo! Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. Now that's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there were never really any yokai in the Fox Chamber.
Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Wait. Jinxie? What about Tenmataru?
There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataru or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now.
You've
Gotta be joking!
Well, pfft. Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do. No!
Apollo! Can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion.
Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet?
Exactly! We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. Did I see Tenmataru in the Fox Chamber? I was so scared when I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. There in the Fox Chamber I saw the alderman dead on a table and Papa collapsed in a chair. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tenmataru.
Alright. Now that we're done reading that, we go back to the part where she fell. She seems less distressed here, so we gotta point that out.
Got it!
The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear?
Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment.
You did? Where did it come from?
Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look!
Oh.
Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Bye-bye!
A sudden burst of courage? Now where could that come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was, but, I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage?
Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this? The Ninetales flower.
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a Ninetales flower there at the scene, did you?
The demon lore strikes again! I can't hide anything from you! I found a small case with a picture of a Ninetales flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene? That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce said evidence this instant.
Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, your baldness? This is none other than the master key to QB matter. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key? That went missing? Why do I like the sound of that? Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequences. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder, which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is? Until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world, and there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable. No! How could this happen? The defense assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations. Athena, are you alright?
I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do! This sucks!
Sykes Dodo, allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great, now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks!
No, I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight.
Hey, are you alright? She fell right for his trap. Now, I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
Alright, I'll be back in 10—
Objection!
Stay with me, Athena! Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai!
Apollo?
Mr. Justice? I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to? Huh? Oh, right! That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect if this is it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
Apollo! You do have something more than your cores of steel, don't you?
Not really, but we'll be fine.
But...
I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room, because it's all over if I don't.
Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box.
Or in this case, inside the box. What a doozy that locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument? You bet I do! The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die, literally. The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
I'm fine! We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out.
Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposed that the killer escaped through here. Well, the only option we have is the front door. Why can't I... There we go.
Take that!
The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then locked it without a key? I should have seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple.
Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key. But... Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly. I'm fine! I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway was locked was because... the perp locked it from the outside. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door, then locked it— Yeah! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox Chamber. Any assertion that key was removed from the room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction.
If only we could explain both. Like, how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackquill draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight? Threw it in from outside. What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There is a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility. Oh, right. Ah!
I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window.
Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Yes, the air duct.
Take
The air vent? Yes, the window may be out of question, but the air vent's not.
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway.
That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. That's preposterous.
Ooh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer disguised as Tenma murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was to go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing! Even I could follow that.
The judge seems really pleased.
That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenma, and there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout.
That massive forehead seems much more attractive now.
Order, order! Order, I say! Now that I've prepared a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
A valid effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust missed its mark. I'm so close to finishing this, but I have to stop. So I will see you all later when we finish up the rest of this trial.